Now we'll move on to discuss role of women in modern Indian society. So we'll understand what was the major role played by women in modern Indian society. And in modern Indian society, we need to understand, especially during the rule of British authority in India. Now just understand, in modern India, when British authority came, women still remained to be subjugated to a large extent. But in this period, some women came to forefront and they wanted to play a major role. The women who played major role in modern India, that included the ladies like Savitri Bai Phule. At the same time, some ladies played very important role in the course of national movement like Kadambani Ganguly, Sarojini Naidu, Annie Besant. All these women played a very important role. Therefore, some amount of women emancipation began to be witnessed in the course of national movement when modern and scientific education came. And at the same time, large number of national leaders supported gender equality. So role of women became visible and role of women became more prominent in modern Indian society. So we'll understand the role of women in modern India. Women began to play major role in modern Indian society, and this is visible when women began to contribute towards national movement. Women began to contest towards fighting against the British rule. First of all, we'll discuss about the role played by a very prominent woman, Rani Lakshmi Bai. She revolted against the British in the region of Jhansi during the mighty revolt of 1857. Clear? So she started the war of independence by being a woman in central part of India. Similarly, in the revolt of 1857, Begum Hazrat Mahal played an important role in the region of Lucknow. She revolted against the British authority to place her son on the throne of Lucknow. After the mighty revolt of 1857, when large amount of modern education began to come to India, national leaders began to emerge. Several women leaders came to forefront and they promoted social reforms. Most important being Savitri Bai Phule. She promoted education among the lower caste and she also promoted education among the girls in India. Apart from Savitribai Phule, with the beginning of 20th century, large number of women played a major role. These women included, first of all, Annie Besant. She contributed towards social religious reforms as well as political agitation. Then we have ladies like Sarojini Naidu. She played an important role of women in course of national movement. Then we have ladies like Aruna Asif Ali. She contributed towards Quit India movement. Then we have lady like Usha Mehta. She organized the Secret Service of All India Radio during Quit India movement. Then some ladies were basically contributing towards revolutionary agitation. The ladies included Preeti Lata Wadeda. Then we have Kalpana Dutt. Both of them participated in Chittagong Armory Raid. These women played an important role in modern times. So all these women, they played a very important, Matangani Hazara also, Rani Gadillu also from the present region of Nagaland. So Rani Gadillu also played a major role in the course of national movement. Clear? When India became independent, some women played a very important role in post-independent era, and important being Srimati Vijay Lakshmi Pandit. She became the first president of United Nations General Assembly, contributed towards India's diplomacy. Sucheta Kriplani, all these women played, their long list. So the role of women in modern India became much more important. I'll read the name once again. Rani Lakshmi Bai, the first lady to participate in mighty revolt. Begum Hazrat Mahal, she participated in mighty revolt of 1857. Then we have Savitri Bai Phule, who contributed towards girls' education. Annie Besant, who was a member of Theosophical Society and contributed towards home rule agitation in India. Sarojini Naidu participated along with Mahatma Gandhi in second roundtable conference. Aruna Asif Ali participated in the Quit India movement when she hoisted the flag in major regions of Bombay. Then Usha Mehta, who organized Secret Service of All India Radio during Quit India movement. Preeti Lata Wadekar and Kalpana Dutt, who participated in revolutionary agitation under Master Da or Master Da in the region of Bengal or Chittagong. Then we have Rani Gedeli, who participated in civil disobedience movement in the present region of Nagaland. Then we have Srimati Vijaya Lakshmi Pandit, who was the first female president of United Nations General Assembly. Madam Bhikaji Kama, obviously, because she promoted socialism when she participated in International Socialist Conference in Germany. So role of women became more visible, more important under the command of national leaders during the course of modern Indian history. So women contributed significantly towards Indian society in modern times, and they participated actively like men to liberate India from British imperialism. So role of women needs to be identified in three different sections. I'll let you know, clear? Role of women, I'll repeat, I'll just summarize. Role of women in ancient society. It was better in the early Vedic phase when women enjoyed equal status with men. But from the later Vedic phase, the position of women started to get affected. Some women were important in some parts of India, but general rule was that it went against the interest of women. Some exceptions can be in the ancient part of India where some ladies played. Southern part of India where women played important role, especially in the kingdom of Satvahans. The position of women got further affected in medieval society when Parda system and polygamy that we had discussed yesterday became a general rule in medieval times, and condition of women got further affected. There are some exceptions there also, like Razia Sultan and Rudramma Devi that we had discussed. Role of women became more important in modern times when large number of women participated in national agitation to liberate India, social religious reform movements in India, and therefore in modern India we have a long list whereby role of women can easily be explained to the people at large. Clear? So this is the role of women in ancient, medieval, and modern phase. Now with this, there's another topic associated in our syllabus, that is role of women and women organizations. So we'll discuss about women organizations also, which were established before India's independence, which has been established after India's independence, and what major role is being played by such women organizations. So till now we are discussing the role of women as in individual capacity. Now we'll discuss the role of women as collective group when several women organizations were formed before India's independence and after India's independence. So first of all, pre-independence women organization. So let us start with the women organizations in Indian society. First of all, we'll erase this. So next topic of Indian society is women organizations. Clear? So we'll look into women organizations, which were organizations established. First of all, women organization in pre-independence era. All women organization. So first of all, we'll discuss about women organizations in pre-independent era. Here also we'll discuss the role of some prominent women. Clear? First major women organization was established in India in the beginning of 20th century, and this organization was named as Bharatiya Mahila Parishad. This Bharatiya Mahila Parishad was established in the year 1904, and it was established by very prominent women leader Pandita Ramabai. So Pandita Ramabai established Bharat Mahila Parishad. It was the first major organization to unite large number of women in order to promote collective interest of this community during the British rule. So it was the first modern women organization established before India's independence, known as Bharat Mahila Parishad. Second major organization that was established in course of time was Bharat Stri. Stri means women. Bharat Stri Mandal. This was established in the year 1910, and it was established in 1910. It was established by Sarala Devi Chaudhrani. So second major women organization was Bharat Stri Mandal in 1910 by Sarala Devi Chaudhrani, that also unified women to a large extent for collective voice against the British rule in India, clear? And to promote women interest in India. Next major organization that was established for women, this organization was Women's Indian Association. This Women's Indian Association was established in 1970 by a very prominent women leader, and this lady was Annie Besant. Played a very important role in modern India. I'll let you know about this lady. Annie Besant was originally from Ireland. She came to India in 1893 as a member of Theosophical Society. Theosophical Society was religious reform society of Hinduism. When she came to India in 1893, first of all, she began to promote education. And to promote education, she established Central Hindu School at Banaras. And this Central Hindu School at Banaras later on got converted into Banaras Hindu University by Madan Mohan Malviya. Annie Besant also participated in home rule agitation. In fact, in this agitation, national movement for the first time touched the real masses in India. So all these were initial organizations in the beginning of 20th century, that is Bharat Mahila Parishad in 1904 by Pandita Ramabai. Bharat History Mandal in 1910 by Sarla Devi Chaudhrani. And then Women's Indian Association in 1917 by Annie Besant. Apart from all these organizations, I hope you have written all these points. All these organizations, they are very important women organizations. Clear? Apart from these organizations, some other organizations established before India's independence. We'll discuss about them as well. Again, another very prominent organization to establish India was All India Women's Conference in the year 1927. Clear? So in establishment of All India Women's Conference in 1927, Sarojini Naidu played an important role. And the purpose of All India Women's Conference was to demand voting rights for women. So women also began to demand universal adult franchise so as to elect their political representatives, because by this time, British introduced the principle of direct election in India. So the purpose of All India Women's Conference of 1927 was to demand voting rights for women so that they could also play a major role in the political system in India. So this became very important organization to be established in pre-independent era. But this concept of establishing women organizations continued even in post-independent era as well. And we'll discuss major women organizations established after India's independence. So women organizations in post-independent era. The first major organization to be established after India's independence was National Federation of Indian Women. Okay? So National Federation of Indian Women. It was established in the year 1954, just after India's independence. So National Federation of Indian Women, established in 1954, again by a group of women, promoted the interests of women all across at national level, and therefore women agitation began to acquire a national character in post-independent era. Clear? Apart from National Federation of Indian Women, very important organization was established in form of Self-Employed Women's Association. This Self-Employed Women Association was established in 1971. In fact, sorry, it was established in the year 1972. It was established by a very prominent lady, Ira Bhatt. So Self-Employed Women's Association, whereby all independent women were to come together to demand better facilities from the government and to promote better organization among the women in India. So Self-Employed Women Association was established in 1972. When such mobilization was started by women in Indian society, this was to be recognized even by Government of India. And finally, the Union Parliament in the year 1992 established National Commission for Women. National Commission for Women is a statutory body, legal body to promote and protect the interest of women in Indian society. So National Commission of Women is a statutory body, legal organization to promote the interest of women in contemporary times. Clear? All these organizations became very important organization in independent India. Then we have one major organization known as Bharatiya Gramin Mahila Sangh. This is Bharatiya Gramin Mahila Sangh. Very important. And Bharatiya Gramin Mahila Sangh is connected with several international organizations like United Nations. It is connected with International Labour Organization. At the same time, it is connected with World Health Organization. With collaboration of all these organizations, Bharatiya Gramin Mahila Sangh, it promotes the interest of women all across India, and therefore common standards for women all across the world is applied in India as well. This is Bharatiya Gramin Mahila Sangh. So all these are very important organizations established after India's independence, and they have contributed significantly to mobilize large women force for collective interest and welfare. So write about these major organizations. In fact, I have touched upon all the major ones established in post-independent era. National Federation of Indian Women, 1954. Self-Employed Women's Association, 1972. National Commission for Women, statutory body, 1992. And finally, Bharatiya Gramin Mahila Sangh, working in close collaboration with United Nations, ILO, and World Health Organization to promote standardization of women interest all across the world. At the same time, when we discuss all these organizations, we also discuss that what has been a major change in the role of women and women organizations in contemporary times. See, it is not basically established. It was established by a group of people over a period of time. So there's no exact date for the establishment of Bharatiya Mahila Sangh. It was established over a period of time in several villages, and ultimately all these organizations, villages were clubbed together, and therefore it came into existence as Bharatiya Gramin Mahila Sangh. Now coming to the changing nature of women's movement. So till now we had discussed about the major women organization. Now we'll discuss what has been the most important change in women organizations and role of women in contemporary times. We need to understand this major concept. The major change in the concept or in the nature of women organization has been with respect to leadership. This needs to be understood very clearly. Now, what is the change with respect to leadership related to women organizations? First important change is when women emancipation began to be promoted in modern India, women emancipation was largely promoted by male members only. You must be knowing that the first major reformer of Indian society was Raja Ram Mohan Roy. He began to talk about the interests of women. He started a campaign against the custom of sati in Indian society. Apart from Raja Ram Mohan Roy, other reformers like Ishwar Chand Vidyasagar, he began to talk about widow marriages in Indian society. There were a large number of male leaders who advocated equal interest of women. So all these were only male members who advocated women interest. Clear? So women in this sense also was largely dependent on the male leadership. Women did not provide leadership for women's interest or role of women. And therefore, in contemporary times, the most important change is in post-independent era that there has been change in the leadership itself. Now, women's interest and women issues are being taken up and highlighted by women leaders themselves. So there has been a great shift in the nature of leadership. With respect to women emancipation, the initial leadership was provided by the males only. But now the leadership is overtaken by female themselves, which indicate great amount of assertion shown by the women themselves. We can understand this with few examples. Right now only we discussed about Self-Employed Women's Association. It was established in 1972. And this was established not by any male member. It was established by a women leader, Ela Bhatt. So she established this organization, that is SEWA, or Self-Employed Women's Association. Not only this, yeah, you must be knowing about an important legislation known as Domestic Violence Act. This was enacted in the year 2005. In order to enact Domestic Violence Act to prevent violence against the women at domestic level, Domestic Violence Act was passed by Indian Parliament, and in order to enact this legislation, the lead was taken, the pioneering role was played by a women leader. This women leader is Indira Jaisingh. So Indira Jaisingh played a major role. Indira Jaisingh. She played a major role whereby the Domestic Violence Act was passed in 2005 to protect violence against the women. And if such violence takes place, women has the right to get a case lodged against their in-laws or family members. Next is you must be knowing about Vishakha Guidelines. So Vishakha Guidelines is a very important initiative whereby protection of women is provided against any such malpractices like inappropriate behavior, inappropriate use of words, inappropriate physical connection. All these are mentioned under Vishakha Guidelines. And this Vishakha Guidelines to protect the interest of women and to safeguard women was passed by government authorities under the agitation led by Meenakshi. This agitation was due to the efforts taken by Meenakshi Arora. So she started this agitation that led to Vishakha Guidelines. Moreover, in contemporary times, women issues are largely highlighted by leaders like Maneka Gandhi. Maneka Gandhi. So all these leadership indicate that women have started to assert strongly, and now the leadership has been overtaken by women themselves to protect the interest of women in Indian society. So all these leadership indicate great development and paradigm shift in the nature of leadership of women organization. Not only this, apart from all these things, you must be knowing, all of you have written this thing. These are very important developments, clear? Now, apart from this, apart from change leadership, there's one important concept which has become popular all across the world that talks about equal rights of male and female, that is equality for women in every society. This ideology, which has become popular all across the world, this ideology is known as the ideology of feminism. All of you must be knowing about this ideology of feminism. Clear? As per this ideology of feminism, it is believed that women are nowhere inferior to the male counterparts, and both male and female are to be treated at par with each other. This ideology that talks about equal rights for women has acquired acceptance all across the world. Even in India, large number of women has begun to advocate feminism in India. This feminism is against the domination of patriarchal society. Rather, it explodes the myth of patriarchal society. And while exploding the myth of patriarchal society, women are considered to be co-partners and co-contributors in society all across the world. This concept of feminism is acquiring more and more popularity in contemporary times, and it has resulted into assertive role being played by women in Indian society as well. Clear? So all these are very important developments related to role of women and women organizations. So this is a topic in our Indian society, that is role of women and women organizations.